Do you know the feeling of standing at a choice point, where one path promises absolute safety and assured wealth, while the other leads into the complete unknown?
In 1994, Jeff Bezos stood at the peak of Wall Street. He was 30 years old, serving as a senior vice president at a major investment firm. Security status, a high annual salary. This was success by the world's definition.
But instead of feeling satisfied, he felt fear.
Not the fear of failure,
But the fear of something deeper and more dangerous. Regret. A ghost was haunting him, the specter of an old man who, at 80, would ask, "Why didn't I try?" This is not a story about a man who quit his job to start a business. This is a story about a man who used a mental strategy to neutralize the biggest trap in business: the trap of financial and psychological regret. The first problem Bezos faced wasn't financial. It was a crisis of existential decision. He knew his job offered comfort, but it deprived him of growth. Most people fall into the trap of incremental improvement, preferring a small step forward over the leap of faith. Here emerges the first mental law Bezos created, the Regret Minimization Framework, RMF. Bezos sat down and projected himself to age 80, looking back at his life. He asked himself, "At that moment, will I regret losing $1 million? Or will I regret not attempting to participate in the digital revolution I knew was coming?" The answer was clear. The regret of inaction would be a deep, unhealing wound. Financial loss, however, could be recovered. This mental framework is a powerful tool. It converts the fear of current failure into the fear of future regret. This shift liberates you because it shows you that inaction is the most dangerous choice in the long run. After making the psychological decision came the physical execution. Bezos left his prestigious job and started working in a small garage in Seattle. He didn't have huge capital or a complete team, but he had a crucial investment law. Bezos chose to sell books for two strategic reasons, not just the ease of storage. First, massive inventory. Books allowed him to offer millions of products without physically storing each one. This significantly reduced initial operating costs. Second, adaptive learning. Books were a means to learn how to build the logistical and technical infrastructure to deliver anything else later on. This proves that a leader does not start with the product, but starts with the infrastructure that will enable unlimited growth. Bezos was not thinking about being the best bookseller. He was thinking about building the world's best e-commerce infrastructure. This is the transition from a seller's mindset to the owner and creator of systems mindset. Following initial success in Amazon's IPO in 1997, Bezos faced a much harder problem: Wall Street. Investors demanded immediate profits. But Bezos had a completely different financial goal: long-term free cash flow. Bezos refused to achieve quick profits. Instead, he reinvested every cent into discounts, distribution centers, and infrastructure technology. This looked insane to traditional investors, who dubbed Amazon a bomb, believing it would collapse. But Bezos was applying the second financial law, the law of strategic patience. The difference between Bezos and the competitors was his time horizon. Competitors thought about profits for the next quarter. Bezos thought about the shape of the company 10 years from now. Bezos gambled that customer loyalty and the long-term value of infrastructure were far more important than short-term paper profits. This was embodied in two crucial decisions. First, launching Amazon Prime, a decision that caused massive short-term losses, but chained the customer to Amazon irrevocably in the long term. Second, investing in AWS. He decided to convert Amazon's internal infrastructure into a public cloud service. This made no sense to a traditional investor. But it was a genius leadership move, converting operational costs into a completely new revenue stream. This is the heart of the owner's mindset: converting internal challenges into external, income-generating assets. What we learn from Jeff Bezos is not to quit your job without planning. It is that the greatest decisions in your career are psychological, not financial. Bezos overcame the fear of current loss with the fear of future regret. The fear itself transformed into a driving force. The final breakdown law. When you face a decision that places you between temporary comfort and painful growth, don't ask yourself, "What will I lose now?" Instead, ask, "What will I regret not doing a decade from now?" If the answer isn't clear, you are on the wrong path. Because the greatest success comes not from avoiding failure, but from neutralizing regret. Start building your own regret minimization framework today.